Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, February the 4th. We are coming at you on stage 1 with hookahs. Well, okay, technically I guess it would be HMZ, because I do have a single boat of the medics. I don't even know really why I loaded them. I probably would have been better off if I had just gone with 4 boats heavies and just called it a day. But whatever, that's fine. Stage 1, go around, let your troops huddle up safe and sound, or just shock that cannon, and you're going to get a nice easy win. Chances are you're probably going to be using hookah when you do that too. Stage 2 is awesome though. Land right hand side, go up, there's like the little barrels there. You want to head to those, and you're going to pop it, and then your troops are going to start drifting in. So flare up to the very back, just like that. Now, your heavies, rather, are going to be way ahead of your zookas, which is perfect, because the mortars are going to start tossing things, but your zookas aren't going to be in range, so that's good. And then what happens is, as you move forward, you can throw a shock onto the mortars, and you won't have to worry about your zookas. But also, if you let that shock launcher just keep shocking your heavies, your zookas will actually be out of range of the shock, and they'll continue DPS on that HQ, making the burn down on that level super duper easy. I tried to smoke my zookas at the end there so that I could actually show that happening. Unfortunately, things died too fast anyways, and I was just like, man. So I did a quick little smoke on this landing just because it keeps that boom cannon from getting any early shots off. If you're landing more boats, obviously you're probably going to have to use more smokes. But 2 smokes, like anything more than 2 smokes, you should be laughing. It should be no problem whatsoever. And then 1 shock takes out that little 4-pack of buildings, and then you can come around the right-hand side towards the HQ. Do use some flares just to make sure you keep all of your troops way up towards the right-hand side of the base. If you got extra GBE, throw a shock or 2 onto the machine gun slash mortar combo there, and you're gonna have no problems taking down stage number 3. Alright, moving on to stage number 4. I guess stage 4 is where things start getting turned up a little bit, but if you land on the right hand side, again, let them gather up the free GBE, and then start smoking. Smoke your heavies and your zookas all the way up. Place your smoke roughly, and smoke and flare roughly in this location. What's going to happen is your zookas are going to pull, or sorry, your heavies are going to pull forward from your zookas, and you're going to be able to like sit there and blow up the boom cannon before you even have to worry about it. Now, if you really want, you can throw the shock. You'll hit the boom cannon and sniper tower with 1 shock. It'll make things infinitely safer, prevent you from losing any troops, and then you can use some good old-fashioned artillery and barrage to take out the 2nd boom cannon, which is closer to the HQ, or again, you can just throw shocks, like that one there, which would, had that boom cannon still been standing, probably hit the boom cannon as well as all of those defenses. So you can kind of finish that off. As long as you're hugging the top side over on the right there, you should have no problems whatsoever. And then we can move on to stage number 5. At 5 is where I had to start dropping a few extra boats. Just because I'm not the greatest with the hookah, you know, I very rarely use it. I kind of play around with it. I have been trying, but I don't know. Limited success. That's what we'll call it. Now, I did the smoky landing because it buys me a little bit of time, but same deal. Kind of drop everything towards the water side, and then your heavies are going to pull forward, and it'll keep your zookas that extra little bit of safe, because they're not going to be lumped in with all the AoE damage, or area damage, or group damage, or whatever you want to call it, from all the rockets and machine guns and things like that. Anyways, let your zookas kind of wander up the shore, and then make sure you take out the rocket launcher before, you know, it becomes a problem. Also, for the regroup back here, if you're going to regroup and kind of reposition yourself, make sure you drop a heal. It really does pay off. It'll keep your zookas alive, because when your heavies and your zookas are like crisscrossing each other's paths, bad things happen to the zookas, man. Like, horribly bad things happen to the zookas. And then come around the right-hand side. Like, if you've still got energy, just keep throwing shocks on the things you want to shock. Very, very nice and quick and easy attack on stage 5, which allows us to move on to stage 6. And stage 6, normally harder, but this one, really nice. The two boom cannons there right at the front are touching, so you can barrage one time on each if you've got max barrage, and take them both out at the same time. So what I did is I figured, alright, you know what? I got tons of GBE, I'm going to keep rolling with this. So I took out the second boom cannon, along with the rocket launcher it's next to, well, I guess that would technically be the third boom cannon. And the fourth one, because it's also with a rocket launcher. And by taking out the two rocket launchers with those boom cannons, you greatly reduce the sustained damage that your heavies would normally be under. Which is a good thing, because unlike the tanks, they're fully going to be in range of the flamethrowers and machine guns and stuff over there on the right-hand side, which, spoiler alert, is the way we're going. However, I let everything land on the left-hand side so I could farm up a little bit of extra GBE, take out a few buildings, you know, let the zookas kind of go in there. But then I realized, like, holy smokes, there's a lot of sniper towers and cannons, and things are getting chewed up. Like, this is not going good. We've got to reposition. So I repositioned, as you can see. Again, the like I was saying earlier, the whole thing about the heals, keeping your zookas alive. Basically, that heal right there, I'm pretty sure, kept all of my zookas alive. I may not have lost all of them, but I would have lost a good number of them, which would have been horribly bad, because if you lose your zookas, you lose your deeps. If you lose your deeps, you're not going to be able to finish the level. Like, you know, this is pretty straightforward math we're talking here. But come around the right-hand side, stuff will be really hurt from the previous barrages. So if you got the GBE for it, just toss a few extra artilleries, maybe another barrage over there, and you're going to be able to wipe out even more buildings before your heavies get into range, which, in the grand scheme of things, will make your life that much easier. So let's move on to stage 7, seeing as how stage 6 was so easy and wonderful and nice, which it fully was. It was fully easy, wonderful, and nice. I loved it. Now, 7, I kind of did a beardy bork. As you can see from my positioning, I didn't keep scrolling over with my flags, so I ended up dropping my medics on the far right as my smokes were wearing. Words are hard. Were wearing out. Actually, that's kind of a tongue twister. Like, the warriors were wearing out. How many warriors would wear out if a warrior wear? Dang, I fail. All right. So, anyways, I kind of let them drift in and start trying to gather up some energy, but those rocket launchers plus the machine guns, they actually start doing some really nasty stuff to my poor troops. So I decided, you know what, nah, forget it. I'm just gonna smoke them over to the right hand side. That way I don't have to worry about, you know, the rocket launcher doing crazy things, or, you know, any strange damage or whatever. And once they, you know, with the flare placement and the smoke placement, once the smoke disappears, the heavies are already going to be in front. They're going to take some hits from some rocket launchers, and that's okay, because that's kind of their job. It's what they're there for. And then clear right in from the north, and like it's hookah, man. You are gonna trash this place. If you got some extra GBE, throw it over there on the shock / rocket launchers, because you don't want to lose too many of your Zookas too fast, because if you do, or sorry, if you don't want to lose too many heavies, because if you do, your Zookas are going to be completely uncovered and horrible things will happen. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.